Welcome everyone to the 2022 Josh BMW collection. I'm way overdue for this video. Usually we do this in the summertime, but I wasn't here, ran out of time. So I've been fighting the weather and the lighting to get out here and finally do this video because we have quite a few BMWs to go over. I'm doing a little bit different sound setup here because of the wind, and I want to be able to get further away from the camera. I bought a whole mic setup, didn't work. Long story short, I'm using Apple mic, so hopefully this turns out well. Hopefully I can get this all synced up properly. But without further ado, I'm going to go through and show you guys all of my BMWs as of October 2022. So there's a few familiar faces here, a few new faces, and yeah, so I'm just going to set up the camera to each car, go over each car really quickly, talk about it a little bit. If you want to see any of these cars more in depth or videos of me building a lot of these cars, go down the channel. If you're new here, a subscription would mean the world to me, a like, a comment. Anyway, let's get into it. So to start, we have a familiar face here, my E46 M3. This is a 2003 E46 M3, silver gray on a black interior. I have it on SSR SP3s, Broadway static suspension. Done to the engine is an E-Venturi intake, a Build Journal B-Spec tune, an SMG TTFS CSL tune. I got a Status Group Scores a muffler. I got Storm Motorworks shift knob for the SMG. This is an SMG car. This car sees not many miles in a year. It is my baby, the first BMW I actually ever brought into this collection, and the car that basically started it all for me. So I have a lot of love for this car. I take great care of this car. If you want to see me making videos driving this car, check them out. I don't have any build videos because, like I said, this car came a long time ago, way before I even did YouTube. So it's just kind of gets videos here and there. I've done all the major maintenance on this car years ago, and it's been super good to me ever since. So that's the E46. Up next is a car you guys probably know well because this is the newest, most recent build on the channel. This is my S52 swapped E34 525i. Glacier blue exterior, ultramarine blue interior. I love this car. This is a low mileage E34 I got and wanted to go through the whole car and take it across the country, and that's just what I did. The cross country road trip video is also on my channel. This car and I have a very special connection because I have driven this car more than I think all of my other cars combined, aside from the E46 because of how long I've owned it, and maybe the Calypso. But this is a very special car to me. I put a lot of work into this car, and I had a lot of fun in this car. So, as I said, S52 B32 swapped in from an E36 M3, OBD1 converted, ZF 5-speed manual swapped, RK tune, basically just an OEM plus build. I did every single front suspension, every single rear suspension, mostly. Limited slip differential, suede re-wrapped headliner, HRE 526 wheels, BC coils, but that was just because that's all I could find at the time. I've done some retrofits, later model lights. Yeah, basically just a fun little ripper that is actually getting a supercharger. If you watched my drive in this video, my last time I filmed the review video, I teased what's coming next, and that is going to be a supercharger. So this thing will be really badass next year. I bought it. It's at my aunt's house in Florida. I just got to go pick it up. But that is the S52 E34. Probably one of the cars I have probably one of the most amounts of work into, aside from the turbo car. So yeah. And next up here we have my 1999 E36 M3. This is a car that I don't think I've actually posted any videos on this year because in terms of content there's just not much to do. The car is already built. The car is set up in a more stancy way, so I don't really go out and drive it much spiritedly and stuff. It's a show car. I have my guilty pleasure low show cars. It's in a color I've always wanted, not a true Dakar. I think it would be a sin to cut up a OEM Dakar. This is black underneath. When you go obviously wide body, you have to do something. You have to repaint, rewrap, whatever. You got to do something because they'll never match unless you're a very skilled painter. But anyway, so yeah, this is the 1999 E36 M3 on BBS Kircher wheels. Magma interior, which is arguably the best part of this car. LTW spoiler, or I guess maybe a GT spoiler, because I heard from a friend that LTW means it has a third brake light. I'm not sure. Lucid tail lights, Broadway static coilovers, bone stock drivetrain, 5-speed manual, of course. like I said, my birth year car, and I've always wanted a yellow E36 M3, and I think this car was just set up perfectly, and I couldn't refuse it when I saw it go up for sale, so I just had to snag it. It's just my low, slow, fun car. Drilled and slotted rotors, I forgot. Yeah, I love this car. It's, I think, a very unique looking car. It's a very special car. And yeah, so that's the E36 M3. Now next up in our collection, probably one of the most special cars to me because this is the first old BMW I bought. The E46 was, well, I don't really call it old. This is the first vintage, the first E34, and arguably the most extensive, most expensive, most intense build in my collection, and the fastest car in my collection. From the outside, it may not seem that way because, as you guys may know, I got the front end redone, so now it's a total sleeper build. So this is my turbocharged E34 525i, 1992 Calypso red, original Calypso car, originally a non-Vanos auto. This car has gone through many iterations. When I bought it, it was a non-Vanos ZF swap, black interior swap, but who cares about that? When I got hit, this car was totaled in an accident, and I rebuilt and decided to turbo it. So this is now an M50 Vanos with a low compression head gasket and ARP head studs. That's it. Tuned on an ECU master with a Precision 6262 turbo, full standalone E85 bone stock bottom end. This car put down 560 wheel horsepower, 586 wheel torque, as I got it retuned a couple days ago. All the intercooler piping is redone and tucked. 3-inch straight pipe exhaust on this thing. BC coilovers, OZ Mito 2 wheels. Yeah, I'm gonna have a full build rundown of this car soon. I have one from back in the day, but I'm gonna update it, and it's gonna go into all the specs, all the details if you guys are wondering. I'm not gonna get too into it. ZF 5-speed trans, stock driveline back. A lot of stuff done to this car. I can't go into all of it. Like I said, if you want to know about it, go check out my video that I will have filmed, and it'll probably come out after this, maybe before, who knows, but I will probably try to link it. If it's not posted, then just stay tuned. A full build rundown of this car. So next up, we finally get to this back row here. I just kind of have them all scattered in because two of these cars aren't staying with us. One is a junker and one is a build that's pending, so I have nothing done to it yet. So these are all just tucked back here, but I'm gonna go over each one individually. These cars all have videos on my channel. That's an ongoing series kind of building up right now. I'm collecting parts. The E30 is a series that's running concurrent to when this video comes out. So if you want to see a mini restoration, this is my E36, my other stock body build. So if you want to watch me put this car together, piece this car together, and then stay tuned for this. There will be a lot of content on this soon. Very cool build. I'll go over to it in a second when I focus on the car. So this is my 1986 BMW 528e. This is finished in Polaris metallic silver, black interior. This car I picked up on my way back from my road trip, and it caught my eye because it didn't have diving boards on the front. It had what I thought was a Euro bumper conversion, but it's kind of a poor man's Euro bumper. There's no chrome on it. It's just some trim fastened to the bumper. Looks pretty cool though. This car caught my eye because it looked special because of the wheels, and it was a little lowered, and it looked really clean, and turns out it is. The paint needs some love, but it's a rust-free car owned by an older guy. I think it came from Florida once upon a time. It's on Pontiac Trans Am wheels, which are gonna change. But this is a really nice little E28. It's got an E34 rear bumper on it, which is really crazy. If you didn't know, yes, those do fit. The original BMW dealership here on the trunk. The interior on this car, mint condition. It is super nice, black. Auto car, but not for long. Yeah, this is just a super nice BMW E28 that I have big plans for. So I will have a full video dedicated to running you guys down the build, but to be quick about it, the 528e's M20 will be coming out. This car is actually going to be getting a B35 M30 swap on a standalone ECU, individual throttle bodies, may or may not be cammed, hopefully headers, exhaust, manual swapped, and a badass NA M30 build, and I think that will transform this car. I think it'll make this car super sick. Everyone loves M30s. I haven't had the chance to build one or like really have a car that kept one. I've been wanting to build an 80s BMW for the longest time ever. So I'm really excited to have this car. It's going to get new wheels, new suspension, everything's going to get done. This is going to be my ultimate 80s cruiser. So stay tuned because this build is going to be badass. It's going to be pretty involved because standalone M30 with ITBs and stuff is not a super common thing, and it's not the easiest of swaps. It's not just going to drop in. We're going to have to do some things, some wiring, etc. So it'll be fun. So if you want to see that, stay tuned. And that actually brings me into the bonus car in this collection video, which isn't in the driveway because it's not worth even showing. But I do have another E28, which I bought for the manual swap for this car. So it's an old 533. Bought the manual swap for the M30 B35. It's a junker, but it's a parts car. So it's sitting on my trailer in the woods. But yeah, that's the bonus car to this collection video. So the next car here on our endeavor is my 1998 328i with some good old M3 goodies on it. This is a car I actually traded my old C10 for. Arctic Silver, fitted on BBS RFs, a very special wheel to me. I love these wheels a lot. So this car is for sale, but the wheels are not for sale with it. So it's got glass headlights, M3 front bumper, M3 mirrors, M3 Vaders, re-wrapped in a nice two-tone. I personally wouldn't do that, but one of the previous owners did it. Don't mind that shift knob. I'm not sure why that's in there right now. But M3 floor mats. It's a dove gray interior, half swapped black, so it's kind of interesting. But this has been pretty much used as my daily driver for the past year. Once I got everything kind of squared away with it, it was kind of needed a lot of love when I got it. But yeah, I have a lot of videos of me building it, fitting these wheels, doing some maintenance and stuff. It's a pretty decent car. Whatever these are, like smoked Euro tails, full stock exhaust because it came with a really brutal exhaust. A rust-free Georgia car in a pretty color, and it's just a really nice car to have. But I don't need two E36s in my life. I think that there's no point, and both of them are set up pretty stancy, so they kind of don't serve their own purpose. You know, maybe if this was a track car, and I would love to keep this as a track car, but you know, I need money to build the E28. I'd rather an E28 over an E36. So this car is just gonna go once I get the right price. If you're gonna ask in this video, it's not gonna be for sale for cheap. BC coilovers, rear adjustable control arms in the back. I just did some front suspension, front steering. Yeah, pretty decent daily, even despite the ride height of it. It's not a bad daily. M52 B28, thing runs great. And yeah, decent car, but it will not be staying with us. I just cannot bear to have two E36s. And then here we come to the last car we have in the collection video for today. Not a car that I'm keeping in the collection, but I figured I would just throw it in here because I have it as of right now, and it's a cool little E30. So this is a 1986 325e, finished in Cosmo blue with whatever the blue interior is. I don't think it's ultramarine like the E34, but yes, this is the same spec as my E34 basically, blue on blue, and that's kind of why I picked it up. It's an auto car, it's a junker, decently rusty, runs like crap, but as you guys know if you've been keeping up with the series, this car is getting transformed. I'm repairing some rust, making it look better, and as of right now I already have done that. Doing a lot of engine bay maintenance. Getting it running was probably one of the hardest things just because it had a very odd issue, so stay tuned for the video of that. It might come before this, I don't know. But yeah, if you're curious to see me do a budget little E30 build, not really a build, but a budget restoration, this is the car. So I got some decent videos on this if you want to go check it out. This car is not staying. It was just, I bought it for strictly the purpose of making a budget little build on the channel and then selling it. So this won't be staying. You guys won't see this again after the series is over, but I figured I would include it anyway. So there we have it, the 2022 collection video. Thank you guys so much for watching if you got this far. Thank you to everyone that's a subscriber, a fan of mine. I love you guys. I love the support. I love being able to do what I do and have it be kind of my job right now. And it's amazing. And I hope that we can keep growing so that I can actually sustain this as a full-time job, because I love teaching you guys how to build these cars, showing the quirks, all that. I love doing this, and it gives me an excuse to collect these and not feel guilty about it because it's my thing. So anyways, yes, these 4 in the front are pretty much long time keepers. The 2 to the right and the back, the E36 and E30 are not staying. The E28 is going to be a badass little build, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, the mic setup, I hope this all worked out. Sorry it's goofy, I'm holding it, this feels very unprofessional, but I didn't want to scream at the camera because I'm really sick of that. So I bought a whole mic setup, and it didn't work with my camera, long story short, whole thing, so I got to figure that out. So for now I'm going to be doing this method, but let me know what you guys thought of this video. Any cars you think I should add? There's obviously a few that I want, but yeah, I've gone through a lot of BMWs, but these ones most of these have kind of been curated to be what I want, what I need, and they're staying with me for a while. So some I don't plan on ever getting rid of, so hopefully that works out for me. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this collection video. It's time for me to put the E46 M3 away for the year. Then the E36 and the E34s will follow. Those will go out a little later. I have to find storage for them. And then the E28 will be in the garage awaiting work, and those 2 will sit until they sell. So yeah, there it is. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.